The noise within, why stillness feels uncomfortable. Stillness. It sounds so simple, so peaceful. Yet for many of us, it feels like a foreign language, one we never truly learned to speak. We live in a culture where noise is not only normalized, it's celebrated. Productivity is praised, multitasking is rewarded, and silence is seen as a void to be filled. But what happens when the very noise we surround ourselves with begins to rob us of the rest we so desperately need? Stress and sleep are deeply connected, and so is stillness. But stillness, ironically, is often one of the most stressful experiences for a modern mind. Why? Because it's in the quiet moments that everything we've been suppressing begins to surface. The to-do lists, the regrets, the fears, the unresolved conversations, the deadlines, the pressure, the comparison games we play. In silence, we are confronted with ourselves. No distractions, no notifications, no busyness to hide behind. And so we avoid it. We fill every moment with something: music, podcasts, social media, texts, streaming shows, caffeine, background noise, movement. We stay in motion to outrun the discomfort. But the cost is steep: overstimulated minds, anxious hearts, exhausted bodies, and sleepless nights. Your brain was never meant to be in go mode all day. Yet without intentional stillness, your nervous system never gets the memo that it's safe to relax. That hyperarousal becomes your default. You may sit on the couch, but your body is still braced. You may lie in bed, but your mind races. And the stress hormone cocktail, cortisol, adrenaline, norepinephrine, keeps flowing. To reclaim sleep, we must learn to reclaim stillness. Not as something optional or spiritual, but as something biological, essential. Stillness is where regulation happens. It's where the nervous system resets, where the body exhales, and where sleep becomes possible. But before we can embrace stillness, we must first understand why it feels so uncomfortable, and begin the work of making peace with silence again. In the next part, we'll explore practical ways to ease into stillness, to create space for it throughout your day, and to build tolerance for it, not by forcing, but by gently teaching your mind and body that quiet is not a threat. It's a return home. The gentle art of stillness. Building tolerance for quiet. If you've ever tried to sit quietly for 5 minutes and found your leg jittering, your mind wandering, or your chest tightening, you're not alone. Stillness is not something most of us were trained in. In fact, our nervous systems often interpret it as unsafe, especially if in our past, silence was associated with punishment, loneliness, or suppressed emotions. Being still can feel like opening a door to a flood we can't control. But stillness, like any skill, can be learned. And it begins with building tolerance. Not diving into an hour of meditation on day one, but creating micro moments of pause throughout your day. Tiny shifts. Gentle invitations to stop doing and start being. 1 minute of silence after a meeting. A breath before checking your phone. 3 mindful sips of your coffee in the morning. Watching your dog sleep. Listening to the rain. Feeling the water on your hands as you wash the dishes. These are all forms of stillness, and the more you practice them, the more familiar and safe they become. You're not trying to eliminate thoughts. You're not trying to achieve anything. You're simply practicing presence. Presence without performance. This is where your body begins to downshift, where your mind gets the signal. We are not in danger. Over time, these moments become anchors. They expand. What was once uncomfortable becomes desirable, and you begin to crave quiet the way you used to crave noise. You begin to notice the subtle signs your body gives when it's ready to rest. not just at night, but throughout the day. Your shoulders drop, your jaw softens, your heart slows, your breath deepens. Stillness becomes a sanctuary, not an absence of life, but the presence of it. And from that space, true rest begins to grow. In the next section, we'll explore how to integrate these micro moments into your evening, turning your nights into a ritual of release, so that by the time your head hits the pillow, your body already knows the way to sleep. The evening exhale, creating a nightly ritual of release. Evening is a sacred threshold. It's where we move from activity to surrender, from noise to quiet, from doing to being. But for many of us, it's where we cram in everything we didn't finish during the day. Last-minute emails, catching up on texts, cleaning, Netflix, scrolling. We say we want rest, but we don't create space for it. A nightly ritual isn't about perfection, it's about intention. It's about signaling to your nervous system that it's safe to let go, that the day is done, that nothing more is required of you. That sleep is not an interruption, but a continuation of peace. Start small. Choose a consistent time to begin winding down. Turn off overhead lights, light a candle, or use soft lamps. Lower the volume of your environment, both literally and emotionally. Create a landing space for your thoughts, a journal, a voice memo, a prayer. Let your mind know that it has been heard. Release your body too. Stretch gently, breathe deeply. Use your senses, lavender oil, soft music, warm tea, to anchor your awareness in the now. Let go of the to-do list. You are not your productivity, you are a soul and a body that longs for restoration. As you climb into bed, don't force sleep. Welcome it, trust it. Know that your body remembers how to rest when it feels safe. And if the thoughts return, meet them with compassion. Breathe with them. Remind yourself, I am safe, I am home, I am allowed to rest. This is the rhythm of stillness. Not rigid or perfect, but human, sacred, reclaimable, breathing through the noise, harnessing the power of stillness anytime. Stillness isn't confined to your bedroom or your yoga mat. It's not limited to silence or solitude. Stillness is a skill you carry with you into the chaos, the meetings, the traffic, the toddler meltdowns, the hard conversations. The more you cultivate it during the quiet moments, the more accessible it becomes in the noisy ones. When your boss sends a harsh email, when your child throws a tantrum, when your partner is distant, when the world feels loud and unpredictable. Your first instinct might be to react, to tighten, to defend, to push back or shut down. But in that moment, there is another way. Pause, breathe, come home to your body. Stillness, in that moment, is choosing presence over panic. It's remembering that not every emotion needs a megaphone, and not every stressor needs an instant solution. It's stepping back, not to avoid, but to anchor, to respond rather than react. Try this. Place your hand on your chest. Feel your breath move under your palm. Inhale through your nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale slowly through your mouth for 6. Repeat. Again. Watch what happens. You'll notice the edges begin to soften. Your thoughts get less loud. Your heart rate slows. You begin to regulate, not because the problem vanished, but because you chose your state before your strategy. This practice isn't just for monks or minimalists. It's for anyone who wants to live awake in a world that's asleep at the wheel. It's for tired parents, overwhelmed students, busy professionals, and everyone in between. Stillness is radical. It's a refusal to be ruled by urgency. It's a return to rhythm. And from that rhythm, rest emerges, not as an escape, but as your birthright. So here's your invitation. Don't wait for the world to be quiet. Become quiet in the world. Carry stillness with you. Let it color your reactions, your presence, your relationships. Let it lead you gently home each night. And if this message resonated with you, if you felt a sense of peace or longing or possibility, I invite you to share it. Share this podcast with someone you care about. Leave a comment. Subscribe for more. Let's rebuild a culture of rest. One breath, one moment of stillness, one night of healing sleep at a time.